Christopher Snyder, Chamberlain, high school boys varsity basketball coach that just came off a win against King, 66-50. Coach, this was your final district game, is that correct?
This final district game.
And you did what you set out to accomplish.
We knew coming in how good we were going to be. And we talked about how, and you may have heard it before, but we didn't take any shortcuts in the offseason. We put the time in from spring league, summer league, fall league, working out after school Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, coming in before school on Tuesdays at 6:45 to shoot the basketball. So we knew what was going on. My starting five's been together since last March. So it's one of those where we knew. So our goal was to be a district champion. And bottom line, that was it. And here we are, 11-1 in the district as our district record with the one loss to Sickles, who what we looked at was going to be our main competition, and that's what it is. And we've talked about trying to put the best team on the floor that we can be, and trying to make sure that we're getting better every day. Every time, be better today than you were yesterday. And those were our really two goals. The district title, be better today than you were yesterday, and everything else will fall into place and take care of itself.
What doesn't Eric Stortz do, your senior guard? Tonight, I believe he had 30 points, roughly 11 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Eric, what don't you do? What don't you do?
Do what?
Come here. Here was the question. He asked me a question. He goes, what does my guard, Eric Stortz?
What doesn't Eric Stortz do?
Make bad plays. What don't I do?
I don't know. I'm asking you. I know what it is. I got it.
I only took one charge so far. Is that it?
He gambles maybe a little bit too much defensively, and there are times where he loses confidence in his shot, and will go through streaks to where he's not shooting it as confidently as he should. Those would be the two weaknesses I would say in this game. But he is strong enough, stubborn enough to try and work his way through it. So, yeah, I mean, we're not at this point in time without him. But I think the thing that's made Eric the better basketball player is he's trusted his teammates. He's relied on them to make sure that he doesn't have to do everything all the time, that those other guys will do things defensively, will do things offensively. What'd you say? How many assists did he have tonight?
I had 3 after the first quarter, and I'm sure he had at least one more.
There was more after that. So it was probably, he rebounds, he scores, he assists, steals, although he doesn't take charges, but that's because he's too busy trying to block shots, so he does do that every once in a while. But I would say that's probably about it.
Eric, your coach, I think his biggest deficiency, Coach Snyder's deficiency, is he doesn't bait the refs enough. Are you going to have him work on that?
Yeah, I think he's a young guy, and I think that comes with age. I think Coach Applin knew the refs. I'm saying? He, 30 years in the business, he could bait the refs, but it's a work in progress. But Coach Snyder will, come district time, be baiting the refs.
The referees are always a touchy subject, and however this gets aired and if this clip gets used, I could get fined, and that's not going to get many calls for Stortz throughout the rest of the season. So I'm just going to go ahead and bite my tongue. There's the wisdom of being around for a while for you.
Let's talk about 1,000-point scorers. You faced a really good one tonight in Rashard Brown. I believe, Mr. Stortz, you already have 1,000 points. But there's a young man that wears number 22, Reginald Hart. How many can he score, Coach?
Reggie could get to 1,000 next year as a junior. He played last year, even though he sat in the first 6. And Reggie, as good as Reggie is, Reggie's still learning to play. And Reggie's been able to sit back and watch Stortz kind of do some of his stuff, and we've kind of let Reggie learn from the fly that way. And Reggie does a lot more freelance stuff, whereas Eric can do the freelance stuff as well as we'll run set plays. And we run set plays for Reggie too. We run set plays for David and Rod, and we run sets for any one of the 5 spots on the floor depending on where the mismatch is. But I think that Reggie's is that he's instinctual for a sophomore that a lot of sophomores don't have one yet.
What do you guys have to do to go deep in the playoffs? What do you have to get better at?
Defending. And although we defend well, it's our first step on the ball to making sure that we protect the basket. And it's making sure that we don't take plays off. And I think there was, one quarter there, it took us 3 minutes, maybe the second quarter. I don't think we scored for the first 3 minutes. Not either today, but it's one of those where we've got to make sure that we're consistent. And we've talked about 2-minute bursts the last couple of weeks, is going out and winning 2-minute bursts, and if we have to, we can go and we get a little more play out of our bench and a little more depth out of them that will be able to handle some of that stuff to try and make a run in. And hopefully that's what happens.